Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie French.
And I'm Robinson Miles. As we start off this new week, there is a lot happening around the tri-states. Let's go ahead and just jump right in. Our first headline today, court records show former Evansville Fire Chief Paul Anslinger pled guilty today during the charges? Hearing. Police say Anslinger took tools from the department and transferred more than $4,000 from the EFD Foundation to his own personal business account.
He is charged with firearm theft, 2 counts of theft of property, and official misconduct. So again, he has pled guilty. We'll keep you updated as we learn more there.
Now, it really wouldn't be a day without a road construction story, and we will not deny you that. Right now in Hopkins County, crews are working to address the mine subsidence on I-69 near Morton's Gap. Now, as you've reported, the sinkhole developed along the edge of the northbound driving lane. Now, the cause was discovered to be from a collapsed mine 50 feet from last year's damage. Officials say the project is meant to monitor and stabilize a section of road impacted by historic mining activity. Yeah,
crews say they don't necessarily have plans to detour traffic because they do hope to keep one lane open in each direction during this construction. But they say if you need to go around, a possible detour for drivers could be to get off at Morton's Gap and then go up Highway 41 through Earlington into Madisonville. Now, this project is going to take a while. It's expected to last until the end of July. So we'll have an update on that tonight on 14 News.
Now, for our final headline, a very cool story. Now, it was the opportunity of a lifetime for a tri-state girl in the crowd of country star Keith Urban's concert this weekend. Aubrey Minnis of Princeton and her family are huge Keith Urban fans, and they watched his show on Saturday night at the Ford Center in Evansville. During the show, Urban played some songs out in the crowd right in front of the Minnis family, and that's when he handed his guitar to Aubrey.
Yes, it was so cool. And what makes it even cooler is this. Take a look. So Aubrey first saw Keith Urban as a baby there on the left. Her parents held a cardboard sign shaped like a guitar. Now, 10 years later, the photo there on the right, that same girl has a real guitar used and signed by the country star himself. Aubrey's dad, Kevin, actually owns Minnis Guitars. He says it's always been a dream to have one of his guitars in Keith Urban's hands. But this cool story sort of took a turn for the opposite. Now Aubrey gets one of his guitars, so very cool. We're hoping to talk with her when she gets out of school just to learn more about this, I'm sure, life-changing experience for her.
Oh, yeah. It's like you can't not learn to play guitar after that.
Keith Urban's guitar is like hanging in your room. You've got to learn how to play it and play it good.
You also can't like any other country stars more.
Nope, that's gotta be your
forever.
top.
Yeah, 100%. Good responsibility to have. All right, well, thank you so much. That's going to round out our news coverage for today. But, of course, changing seasons, things are very up and down. And so we're going to hand things off to someone who knows a whole lot more about it than we do. But, of course, be sure to circle back for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
All right, stick around for your 14 First Alert forecast with meteorologist Arden Gregory right after the break.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory. That's a live look at the Evansville riverfront. You may have noticed the flags just kind of hanging limply at the side of the poles there. It is calm out there today. It's also cool and sunny. Overall, a pretty pleasant day, although depending on your nature, you may want a light jacket. The wind is going to pick back up as we get into tomorrow, but it's going to come from the south, pulling warmer air up into the tri-state, pushing our temperatures into the 70s and even 80s for the rest of the week. But then an unsettled weather pattern moves in. We've got back-to-back storm systems that are going to bring us a chance of rain at the end of this week and into the start of next week as well. No rain to speak of today, though. This is a look at satellite and radar. You'll notice both are clear. We don't even have a cloud in the sky, just clear blue skies across the tri-state, and so obviously no rain to worry about either. Temperatures still a little cool, especially considering we were in the 80s for all of last week. That cold front that moved through the tri-state on Saturday brought us rain and much cooler temperatures, and that cooler air is still in place over the tri-state. So we're sitting in the low to mid 60s right now at 63 currently in Evansville and Owensboro. We don't have much wind today. A lot of the time we talk about wind because that's what drives our temperatures, right? When the wind's coming from the south, we're warming up. When the wind's coming from the north, we're cooling down. But today, there is very little wind out there at all, and I mean, look at these arrows. They're kind of all over the place. Even the breeze that we do have is very variable in its direction. So we don't really have wind driving our weather, but that cold front that moved through on Saturday, behind it, colder air did flow into the tri-state. So now we're just kind of keeping the status quo. That cooler air is still in place. We do have the sunshine helping to warm us up. We'll probably climb another degree or two this afternoon, topping out somewhere in the mid 60s today. Then overnight tonight, most of the night will be pretty calm, mostly clear and seasonable. Lows are going to dip into the mid to upper 40s. That's pretty typical for this time of year. But late tonight into tomorrow morning, our wind is going to start to pick up from the south. So by tomorrow, it'll become breezy, and we'll once again be talking about that flow of warm air from the southwest pulling air from the deep south up into the tri-state, and that is going to warm us up. So that southerly breeze plus mostly sunny skies, that's going to push us into the upper 70s to near 80 tomorrow afternoon. Now tomorrow is another day full of sunshine. It'll be mostly sunny and dry Wednesday as well. Notice though, as we get to the end of this week and into the start of next week, rain does come back into the forecast. So let's take a closer look at that. Most of Thursday will probably be dry. I can't rule out a stray shower popping up sometime Thursday afternoon or evening, but I really think most of us are going to stay dry until Friday. Friday is when this cold front comes in from the northwest, and out ahead of it, it is going to bring rain. We'll have showers, maybe a few thunderstorms pushing through the tri-state during the day on Friday, and that rain will carry on into Friday night. It is possible some of that rain will stick with us into Saturday, mainly Saturday morning. Then things kind of clear out of here as we go through the day, and by Saturday afternoon, we may get some sunshine. So Saturday is going to be a mixed bag. It may start with rain and end with sunshine, but the bulk of the rain seems like it's probably going to fall on Friday. We get kind of a lull in the rain chances then. Sunday looks mostly dry, but notice by then this next weather system starts to come in from the southwest. That will push into the tri-state then on Monday. So 1 week from today, we then have this second system pushing in, and again, we've got scattered rain and possibly some thunderstorms on the way then as well. So looking at the next 7 days, mostly sunny, gradually warmer. We've got highs in the mid 60s today, upper 70s next couple of days. We may even hit the lower 80s on Thursday. Again, I wouldn't rule out a stray shower Thursday afternoon or evening, but most of our rain this week is going to fall Friday. Showers, maybe some thunderstorms. It seems like that rain may linger into Saturday morning and then clear with some sunshine returning by Saturday afternoon. Partly cloudy, but mainly dry on Sunday, and then that second system comes in Monday. So kind of back to back. We may see a break and some dry time in here over the weekend, but Friday and Monday, rain seems like a pretty good bet. As of right now, our chances of severe weather seem low, especially this many days out. I can't make you any guarantees. We might get an isolated strong to severe storm from one or both of these systems, but as of right now, we've held off on any first alert weather days because overall our severe weather threat seems low at this point. Moving forward now, I do want to mention we did get down to 35 Sunday morning. I didn't get any reports of frost here locally, but I know that there was some frost off to our west and to our north. 36 is typically as warm as you can get and still get some frost, so that's kind of the benchmark for last possible frost is the last time you get 36 or below. And typically it's about this time of year. So Sunday morning, that was April 19th. Our average last 36 or colder is on April 19th. So we may have hit that average right on the head this year. It is very possible we've seen our last frost of the season, but I wouldn't rule anything out just yet. This is the average, but it has happened as late as May 27th. So at this point in the year, you still have about a 45% chance historically of seeing one or more frost still to go this spring. And it does seem like as we get into next week, we may have a bit of a cool down on the way, so we may still get one more cold snap, maybe one more frost. Once we get into May, then that really kind of comes to an end pretty quickly. As for freezing temperatures, there's a better chance we're totally done with those by now. On the rare occasion, it has happened as late as May 10th, but that is an extreme outlier. Usually you see your last freezing temperatures sometime in the first week or two of April. So it would be uncommon for us to still be getting freezing temperatures this late in the year. I mean, you can see that dramatic drop as you go through the first couple weeks of April there, where all the way through March, there's still a pretty good chance you'll get to freezing at least one more time. Then once we get into April, that stat just plummets. And by the end of April, it's down to just a 2% chance that you would still get freezing temperatures. So we're probably done with freezing weather, but it's possible during this last week of April here, we could maybe still get one more shot at frost. We'll just have to wait and see. There's a good chance we're done with frost, but there is that possibility we could maybe still get one more. It has been unusually warm so far this April. Today is the 20th, so out of these first 20 days in April, 10 of them have had highs in the 80s. Typically, we would see highs primarily in the 60s, maybe a few 70s this time of year. Instead, half of the days so far this month have had highs in the 80s. We've also been really short on rainfall. We had that rainy Saturday back on the 4th. We had another rainy Saturday just this past weekend, but a lot of it was kind of light, just kind of drippy, dreary rain, not heavy soaking rain in a lot of locations. We picked up about 1/3 to 1/2 inch of rain in most spots on Saturday. On the whole, we are still under an inch of rain so far this month at the Evansville Regional Airport, and so we are running a deficit of more than 2 inches on the month and more than 5 inches on the year. So we do have drought conditions starting to set in across the tri-state. On our temperatures running much above average, with temperatures running nearly 10 degrees warmer than normal so far for the month of April. If you need to get out and mow your grass, this dry weather, as I said, is going to stick with us at least through the next 3 days. Even the chances on Thursday are very, very spotty. So I think really any day you want to get out and mow your grass, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday should all be fine. Friday is when we see that next chance of rain really moving in. One thing to consider, though, this dry, warm weather also means pollen is everywhere. The rain on Friday helped to wet and wash away some of that, kind of wash that yellow dust off of everybody's cars, but then it dried back out, and so everything's blooming again, and the pollen count will remain very high through the rest of this week. Again, maybe on Friday when we get that rain, it'll give us some very temporary relief, but it would only just be for that day once we dry things out. I mean, it's April. It's allergy season. Expect that pollen count to be very high through the next few weeks here. As for our temperatures, average high this time of year would be upper 60s to low 70s. Today we're topping out in the mid 60s. The rest of the next 7 days will be near to slightly above average, though. We're looking at a lot of highs in the mid to upper 70s. Tomorrow and Thursday we may even end up breaking into the lower 80s. So still running a little warmer than normal for this time of year. I mentioned those two weather systems, right? We've got one chance of rain Friday lingering into Saturday morning. Then we've got more rain moving in early next week. The extended outlook then from Tuesday through the rest of next week does show a general trend toward below average temperatures. So like I said, we've got that one system moving through Friday, Saturday. It doesn't cool us off a whole lot. We go from lower 80s to mid 70s, but then we've got another cold front moving through Monday, and I think that one may bring us another cool down. And so we may trend below average through the middle of next week with average precipitation expected. So that wetter weather starts to push off to our south, drier weather takes over to the north, and the tri-state is kind of caught here in the middle. But I do think after that storm system on Monday, we could see a drop in our temperatures. So it may be a little cooler through the middle of next week. Again, that's just a general outlook, not a specific forecast. I haven't put any numbers on it yet. So that's where I'm saying maybe, depending on how big of a cool down that is, we could have one more shot at some frost middle of next week. But I don't know if it's going to get quite that chilly. We are getting to the point in the year now where the odds of us getting any more frost are becoming more and more slim by the day. Checking in on the comments, good afternoon, Jeanette and Suzanne and Zach. Zach did ask about any chances of severe storms Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, as we've got these back-to-back weather systems moving in. As I said before, I can't rule out an isolated strong to severe storm, especially this many days out. There's still a lot of details to fine-tune. But as of right now, I'm not seeing any kind of clear indication that we would get severe weather. So, it's April in the tri-state. I wouldn't rule anything out. But we've held off on any kind of first alert weather day because as of right now, our chances of severe weather seem low. Zach. All right, if there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons will have an updated look at your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and he'll do another streaming show here tonight at 9. So I hope you'll join him for that then. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday.